In my village, the gods watch everything. They may not speak in the voice of a man, but they have their own way of delivering justice. You see, there is a saying among the elders, a thief may outrun the eyes of men, but never the eyes of the gods. And my uncle, blinded by greed, learned this lesson in a way he will never forget, a way the whole village still talks about today. My uncle was never content with what he had. Even when he made enough to feed his family, he always looked at others' wealth with envy. His friends were the same, men whose hearts were swollen with greed long before their bodies followed. One Harmattan night, they gathered under the old Udala tree. A whisper had been spreading. Foreigners were willing to pay a fortune for the ancient carved gods that sat inside our sacred shrine. These white men, one of them said, will give more money than we can ever make in a lifetime. We just need to be brave enough to take it. The shrine stood at the edge of the village, hidden in the thick bush. Its roof was made from palm fronds, and the floor was red with sacred clay. The gods, carved from Iroko wood and dressed in cowries and feathers, had stood there for generations. Our fathers and grandfathers had knelt before them to pray for rain, harvest, and peace. My uncle and his friends waited until the dead of night. Armed with cutlasses and a sack, they crept into the shrine. The air inside was heavy, smelling of palm oil and incense. Their hands shook, not from fear of men, but from the weight of what they were about to do. They lifted the gods from their stands and shoved them into the sack. The carvings were heavier than they looked, as if the wood itself resisted being moved. But greed gave them strength. By morning, the gods were gone. By afternoon, they were already on their way to the city, to be sold to the foreigners. The men split the money and hid it in their homes, laughing like they had outwitted both man and spirit. The disappearance shook the village like a great storm. The elders called a meeting, their faces dark with anger. Who would dare? Every man in the village was summoned and questioned. My uncle and his friends denied everything. They even cursed and swore, pretending to be insulted at the very thought. The chief priest went into the forest for 3 days. When he returned, he carried a calabash of water, herbs, and strange powders. He announced, "The gods will speak through the swelling of the guilty." The ritual was performed at the shrine's empty altar, and the water was sprinkled at the 4 corners of the village. 3 days passed. Then the whispers began. My uncle's feet had started to swell. His friends, too. At first it was only the ankles, but by the next day their legs were like tree trunks. Soon they could not walk through a door without turning